This is what we call the anti-climax.
Fair enough, folks. Well, Niall, if you want, just while we wait, would you give us a little bit of context about the disco era in America, in New York City? It was a bit wild. Was it as debauched and as crazy and out there as it seemed?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Glad to hear that.
And I was one of its greatest. Yesterday when we were backstage at Isle of Wight, really great producer remixer whom I hadn't seen in like 20 years saw me, and he said, "Niall, don't you remember what we used to do?" And I'm like, "Dude, come on, man! I haven't had a drink in 16 years. Chill out." Yeah, it was pretty wild, but it was an amazing time. I feel like for me in America, it was probably I would say the most open period in music. It was if you go back and you look at the charts, it's the only time in American pop culture where unknown bands could come out of nowhere and go up against the Stones and the biggest of the biggest bands. And every week you would see some unknown person. They'd have the number one record, and people who were big stars were trying to copy us so that they could get on the charts and compete. We were faceless. My band is the ultimate example. Nobody knows who I am. When we were huge, our records were dominating. We're the only act. I met someone earlier here who said he worked at Atlantic. I'm the only artist who's ever had a triple platinum single on Atlantic. Nobody, not the Stones, not Zeppelin, nobody. No Bette Midler, no Ray Charles, nobody. The Freak, the only triple platinum selling single on Atlantic Record. And once we were in the bathroom with the Bee Gees, and like they were like talking about us, not really bad, but you know, they weren't being exactly the nicest guys in the world. And we're standing right next to them, they have no idea who we are. I was like gonna say, maybe I could pee on his leg. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in that group sheet. You know, you guys are the triple platinum single. I know you got the big album, but we have the triple platinum single album. But that's because in that era, it was really about the music. I used to call it like the Black Coliseum. It was thumbs up or thumbs down. You could go to a DJ at a club, and you could ask him to play the record. And literally, if the people stopped dancing, that record would never get played again. But if people kept dancing or even got up, you knew you were happening. When we did our first record, Everybody Dance, it didn't even have a verse. It just had a chorus. And it went on for 11 minutes. And it just had, you know, everybody dance, do-do-do, clap your hands, clap your hands. Everybody dance, do-do-do, clap your hands, clap your hands. And I went to a club. We recorded this for like $10. This was the days before cassettes, so we never even heard it. After we played it, we heard it. Oh, hey, we got it there. All right, man, the magic of show business. So after we recorded it, the only time we heard it was there at the studio. I didn't hear the song again until a month later. I went to a club, walked into a club. My man played it, and the whole club was singing my song. I'm going, they know my song? Is that a groundhog? No, that's French. Everybody wants to get on. So it was just a magical time for me. We were faceless, and we realized that the music did the talking. We didn't have to look like stars. We didn't have to be stars. The music was the star, and it felt so liberating because, you know, most of our friends were like unbelievably good looking and this and that, and could sing better than anyone, but we could write and arrange. And if you put it on the dance floor and people sat down, it wasn't happening. We would take our demos to clubs, and I promise you, I'm not bragging, I have never walked into a club with a white label and the DJ played it and the people didn't dance. Never, not once. And our biggest record, The Freak, when we played that for Atlantic Records, I swear to God, by the time the record finished, it was just my partner and myself sitting in this big conference room. We had emptied the conference room. They went out to talk to our lawyer and said, look, quite frankly, that record sucks. do they have anything else on the record? And they said, of course, it's a whole album. You know, we thought in terms of albums. We said, yeah, we have something. They said, well, do you have anything better? We said, yeah, we have this song called I Want Your Love. It's a lot better than that. And they said, great, well, can we hear it? We played it for them. They said, let's put that out as a single. And we said, are you out of your mind? There is nothing that's going to be as big as Le Freak, because it just felt right to us. We could take Le Freak to a club and just play it, and it would go, boom, boom, aw, and people just hear it and get up and start dancing. I was like, dude, why don't you get your ass out of the office and come to a club and watch what happens? So that's how I grew up, very optimistic. And if it didn't work, then we'd go and change the song. It was always about that instantaneous reaction from the people, because we knew we'd never get a second chance. That's just how it was. My whole career has been swimming upstream. The only time in my life that I ever got a break, out of all the hit records that I've had, was one lucky break. I did this girl, Madonna, who had already had a record out for more than a year, and it was still just 375,000 units. So I actually chose to work with Duran Duran over Madonna first, because Duran had already had Girls on Film, Planet Earth, and we met and we hung. And they were like me, they were party guys, we got along great. I had just finished working with In Excess. It was perfect. Madonna, I went to see her show. It was cool, but it didn't knock me out. But what happened was, after she charmed me, she played the demos, and I saw that she was a real star. I made the record, and then the first record that she did, all of a sudden hit out of the clear blue sky, Borderline, took off, and we're sitting there with our record ready to go, and the record company calls me and says, you know, Madonna is killing us, she wants us to put the record out. I said, well, frankly, I know who she is now, and she's got another record on that album called Lucky Star. Put it out. Yeah, but it's going to keep you guys off the charts for another 6 months. I said, I don't care. It's a great record. Put it out. And we sat and we waited and we waited and waited until Madonna did the most incredible thing I've ever seen. She went to the first MTV Awards, the first one, and she was supposed to do her song, Holiday, right? And at the last minute, she tells the people on MTV, I'm not doing Holiday. I'm going to do this song called Like a Virgin. What's that? It wasn't even released. So she goes and does Like a Virgin. No one has heard the song. She rides around on the floor, singing out of key and everything. And it was so revolutionary, it forced the record company to put the record out. And that was my big break. That was the only time I had gotten a big break. Because even with Duran Duran, when I did the Reflex, their album, Seven and the Ragged Tiger, had already dropped off the charts. So I was, once again, swimming upstream. But Madonna, we were coming off of a hit. Everything else, like, they never call me, I guess I'm still weird. They never call me when somebody's happening. They always call me to fix somebody. If you look at my history, just look at my discography, you're like, wow, he did all those records. Like, oh yeah, but look at the record they had before that. when we did Let's Dance, Truth, Bowie did not have a record deal. He paid for that out of his own pocket. He didn't have a record deal. They dropped David Bowie. No deal. We did that ourselves in 17 days.